The U.S. Navy and Boeing successfully demonstrated air-to-air refueling by using the company's MQ-25 test aircraft, an uncrewed aircraft, to refuel other aircraft for the first time ever. How is it done? Buckle up as we get into the details of how the drone refueling occurred. The aircraft carrier George H.W. Bush has hosted the first MQ-25A Stingray unmanned tanker for an at-sea display and flown the first F-35C Joint Strike Fighter flight operations from that ship, showcasing the future of naval aviation. The agency declared that it had successfully completed an unmanned carrier aviation test, putting a ground control station on the ship and demonstrating the UAV's ability to blend in with that environment. On a pitching flight deck, with the operator adhering to the hand signals of the aviation handlers, and with ship-based operators retaining contact even while the drone is midair and distant from the carrier. A prototype MD-5 ground-based station was put in what is being referred to as an autonomous aircraft for the demonstration. On carriers, a first-of-its-kind control room would be installed to support MQ-25 operations. Staff in this control center would plan the drone's tasks and guide it as it approached the ship during landing, according to a news release. The T-1 test vehicle, which is owned by Boeing, then performed operations throughout the day and at night while at sea. This includes taxiing and parking on the flight deck, connecting to the catapult, and leaving the landing zone. During these operations, MQ-25 deck operators employed Boeing's portable deck control device in addition to the team in the control room. They collaborated with Navy taxi directors and translated the sailors' instructions into appropriate inputs for the MQ-25. The group had the chance to test numerous new systems early with T-1, giving them a chance to evaluate them at sea for the first time. The MQ-25's capacity to maneuver in a shipboard environment, just like a human aircraft, was successfully shown during the first look at taxi operations on the flight deck. Despite the fact that T-1 had not yet taken off or landed on the ship, a substitute aircraft was used to test the hardware and software connected with the Joint Precision Landing System installed on aircraft carriers and amphibious assault ships to direct F-35C and F-35B aircraft for secure landings. It was at Norfolk Navy Shipyard in Virginia for 30 months when it underwent extensive maintenance. It left the yard in late August and has since participated in a number of trials and fleet operations. Strike Fighter Squadron's 125's carrier qualification exercises were one of the events on December 12 that took place during those activities. As the service shifts to a policy focused on war with peer competitors like China and Russia, the tests for the Boeing-built MQ-25A Stingray are the next steps in giving it the ability to fly at extended ranges in areas like the Indo-Pacific. The Navy's effort to prepare for operations at longer ranges, such as those it would encounter in the Indo-Pacific region, according to Loisel, who was appointed the top aviation requirements officer in June, classified MQ-25 as a critical component. The tanker prototype, which Boeing initially created for the unmanned carrier, has already completed overland tests refueling an FA-18F Super Hornet, an E-2D Advanced Hawkeye, and an F-35C Lightning II. It also launched airborne surveillance and struck a CLASP program that was later retooled into a tanker. What is MQ-25 in all ways? With the MQ-25, Boeing is giving the U.S. Navy a glimpse into the future of unmanned aircraft carriers flying. Specifically created for the U.S., this unmanned aircraft system will offer the necessary reliable refueling capabilities, hence expanding the combat range of deployed Boeing FA-18 Super Hornet, Boeing EA-18G Growler, and Lockheed Martin F-35C fighters. They are familiar with the flight deck because Boeing has been providing carrier aircraft to the Navy for more than 90 years. To satisfy the needs of the U.S., the MQ-25 offers the ideal balance of refueling, autonomy, and carrier deck integration. For more than 90 years, Boeing has been providing carrier aircraft to the U.S. Navy. They can offer easy interaction with current systems because they operate as carriers. Boeing's history with carriers dates back to the 1930s Douglas TBD Devastator and continues now with the newest FA-18EF Super Hornet. During a demonstration on board the USS George H.W. in 2021, the MQ-25 T-1 test asset was successfully integrated into the carrier environment, demonstrating the functioning, capabilities, and handling characteristics of the uncrewed aircraft's deck handling system. The engineering development model aircraft being constructed under a 2018 contract award is a forerunner to the MQ-25T1 test asset held by Boeing. To build the groundwork for swiftly advancing toward the development and testing of the MQ-25, T1 is being used for early learning and discovery. Following its initial flight in 2019, T1 acquired about 125 hours in the air, which aided in quickening the team's understanding of the aircraft's aerodynamic performance and influencing design choices for the air vehicle's hardware. A FA-18 Super Hornet, an E-2D Hawkeye, and an F-35C Lightning II were three carrier-based aircraft that were refueled by MQ-25T1, making it the first uncrewed aircraft in history to do so. How did this happen? The unmanned aerial refueling tanker and the FA-18 were as close as 20 feet apart while flying at operationally relevant speeds and altitudes. The line and drogue from the aerial refueling store were then extended by the MQ-25 test equipment and plugged into the fighter to transfer the fuel. The Program Executive Office for Unmanned Aircraft and Strike Weapons is headed by Rear Admiral Brian Corey, who stated in a statement that the MQ-25 would considerably extend the range and endurance of the future carrier air wing. The MQ-25 will be the first carrier-based drone in active service. Given the evolving capabilities of America's military, it is anticipated to not only give Navy aircraft carriers more intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities, but also greatly increase the range of carrier-based fighters. The Navy has been compelled to carefully consider how it would use its carriers in a great power conflict as a result of China's expanding arsenal of anti-ship missiles that have the potential to endanger U.S. naval forces. The Navy can free up manned vessels and engage an opponent at a distance without jeopardizing its carriers by using crewless aerial refueling aircraft like the MQ-25, which can carry up to 15,000 pounds of fuel. Program Manager for the Navy's Unmanned Carrier Aviation Program Office, Captain Chad Reed, called the most recent test an important and exciting moment for the Navy and indicated solid progress toward realizing MQ-25's capabilities for the fleet. The EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft and the F-35C Lightning II fighter jets will be able to be supported by the MQ-25 in addition to the FA-18s. The MQ-25 aerial refueler was purchased by the U.S. Navy from Boeing in August 2018 for an estimated $805 million. The crewless aircraft took to the skies for the first time in September of the following year. In December, the MQ-25 successfully completed its first flight with the aerial refueling equipment needed for its primary mission. The most recent test came after 25 T1 flights that tested the aircraft, refueling technologies, and simulations. According to Boeing, flight testing will continue, and a test asset will be delivered to Norfolk, Virginia for deck handling trials aboard a Navy aircraft carrier later this year. The critical aerial refueling capability of the MQ-25 must be delivered to the fleet as soon as possible, according to Leanne Carey, President and CEO of Boeing Defense, Space and Security, who said in a statement that this historic event is a testament to our joint Boeing and Navy team's commitment to that goal. By 2024, the MQ-25 will be operationally capable and integrated into a carrier air wing by the U.S. Navy. Additionally, it intends to ensure that all aircraft carriers of the Ford and Nimitz classes can accommodate the MQ-25. Terry Walton, a future version of the MQ-25, might give the Navy an aircraft aboard its carriers that can operate at extended ranges and carry out other duties, according to a fellow at the Center for Military Concepts and Technology at the Hudson Institute. Not only for IS, but also for other tasks like airborne electronic attack or strike, the MQ-25 has a lot of promise. Walton, who recently co-authored a report on aerial refueling, told USNI News that his paper made the case that in order for the U.S. military to compete against China in the Indo-Pacific, it needed to increase funding for the aerial refueling mission. Overall, the successful refueling of a fighter jet on an aircraft carrier by the U.S. Navy's new pilotless tanker plane is a noteworthy accomplishment that may open the door for more advancements in uncrewed aerial vehicles and their uses in both military and non-military applications. What do you think about this refueling method? Comment below with your thoughts on this, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you liked our video today, please click on the like button, and to receive notifications for our upcoming updates, please enable the notification bell while you're there. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.